Alright, what's good everybody, this is Sam from Bet. In this video I'll be doing my full card predictions, analysis, picks and bets for UFC Fight Night 196, Vettori versus Costa, or UFC Vegas 41. If you're new to my channel, I'm a handicapper, I do MMA predictions. I have experience of betting MMA and UFC for over 10 years. And I start off my videos, especially the major ones, by showing the previous results. So for the last card, I had a very tiny profit of 0.24 percent or units, in terms of so I risked 3 units, I cashed 3.24, so this gives me this tiny profit. In terms of percentage wise, only 8%, but hopefully this card will get a little bit better results, even though not too confident on anything this card. Alright, so just to show the previous results, I'm start summarizing here, but basically I have some metrics that I take here for myself, so I have 100% or 100 units, 107 units profit from the beginning of the channel last year. And if I'm gonna accumulate the profit for the year, only it's 538% in terms of the profit per event, right? So the amount that I'm risking, the amount in return, the profit per event, I just sum and take an average in this column. This is my average in for picks. This is the average that I cashed on bets when I bet the juice, and this is an average how much I cashed when I bet the dogs. All right, and then I'm also separating these things in different segments, in high, medium, and low quality bets. So lately, mostly low quality bets. So I have a very diversified approach, as you guys can see. And this is a more visual, the profits that I was having the beginning of the year. Then I accumulated some losses, so I'm still trying to get back to the winning column. All right, so for this card, like I told you guys, let me first comment all the picks and the bets that I'm taking, then I'll break this card down for you guys. All right, obviously feel free to drop me comments if you have any questions or if you agree with my picks and whom you're betting. All right, so between Laureano Starpoli and Jamie Pickett, I'm picking Starpoli but not betting the fight. Grant Dawson and Ricky Glenn, I'm betting Dawson, throwing him some parlays. I'm using 1 unit on him. Choi versus Alex Caceres, I'm picking Choi but not betting. Marvin Vettori versus Paulo Costa, I'm picking and betting Vettori, 1 unit on Vettori. Livia Souza versus Randa Markos, I'm picking Souza but not betting. Nugumereanu versus Villanueva, picking Nugumereanu but not betting. Jessica Rose Clark versus Joselyne Edwards, picking Rose Clark, not betting. Tabatha Ricci versus Maria Antonia, I'm picking and betting Ricci, a little bit less than a unit on her. Jeff Molina versus Daniel Lacerda, picking Molina but not betting. Yong Park versus Gregory Rodrigues, picking and betting Rodrigues, a little bit less than a unit. And then Mason Jones and Alan Patrick, I'm picking Jones but not betting. Alright, so I'm gonna break this card down to you guys real quick, just to try to make this short and nice. And at the end, if you wish to support the channel, stick until the end. I'll show you how and using Patreon. Alright, so guys, I'm not didn't put this in order, so I apologize for that. I just went by the order that I was reviewing the videos. Okay, so between Livia and Randa Markos, right off the bat, it's quite tricky, guys, to to bet, especially because Livia, she has a style where she tries to land an overhand and take it to the ground to do the work from there. She could do it against Markos because Markos doesn't have the best take on defense, even though Markos has good underhooks and she escapes pretty nicely from the bottom. In terms of size, and they're about the same, and in terms of experience, Markos has more experience, even though she has a losing record, But this girl, at her best, she's a good fighter, She's tough, she's has good chin, she's well-rounded, she has, she's tenacious, she brings it, So I'm back and forth here. I have this as a 50-50. It's very tough to predict if Livia gonna. It's most likely Livia takes her down, but to hold her down, I'm not sure that Livia can, but probably she can. And it will basically depend on Markos. She can stuff most of the takedowns, get back up, and make it interesting on the feet. On the feet also, it's quite competitive, even though Livia is quite basic with the overhand. Markos does a little bit better with more arsenal, but she's also not the best striker. She makes mistakes, so it's not that she's gonna dominate on the feet. So that's why back and forth here. I'm taking Renata Souza just because I think she will be able to get more takedowns and make it fairly competitive on the feet. In terms of a bet, complicated. I would take basically either of these girls by decision. A split decision is not impossible to any side. So this is fight goes to the decision most likely, even though could be tricky. Yeah, actually this is really likely to go to the decision. Maybe at least 60%, 65 that this goes to the decision. Because I don't see a finish on either side. Maybe only if Markos can get a lucky shot or Renata gets a submission, but it's really not likely. Markos has good submission defense, Renata's tough, and she has a decent chin, right? So this is probably going the distance. This is the safest pick here. Nicolae Nugumereanu versus Ike Villanueva. This is gonna be a fun one. Gonna be a war, I think. I'm expecting at least Nicolae. If you haven't seen his last bout, he comes forward like juggernaut, eats everything that the opponent has to offer. He takes those shots and he keeps coming. He swings. He has some power, and he's intense. He's gonna keep coming. That's the style that Ike wants to fight. Obviously, Ike does a pretty good job with the technique on the feet. Has a good boxing game. Added some kicks throughout the years, and also quite okay takedown defense. So it's not easy to predict. I expect that Ike gonna land quite clean on Nick Nugumereanu. I'm not sure if I can finish him. Maybe he can because Nick eats so many shots, guys. Just ridiculous. And at some point, he's gonna start getting hurt. It's impossible. Ike has some power. He's not the biggest puncher, but he's accurate. So we could see a finish on either side. I expect that Nick actually gonna probably march Ike down, eat some shots, and not get finished, and eventually finishing Ike himself. So I'm going Nick by TKO. I'm predicting round 3 because I think on the first round Ike gonna probably make it very competitive. Maybe on the second, but I think if Nick doesn't get finished, he probably gonna finish Ike. By the amount of pressure he's gonna put. And Ike is not getting any younger. So I expect a war here, like I told you guys. Both of them trading, like rock and sock and robots type of thing, and let's see who falls first, basically. So I'm expecting that this finishes early. I would take the under prop if the price is right. Under 1.5 or under 2.5, but it has to be at a decent price because it's not impossible that they go to the decision. So these are the props that I'm interested to, and these are the comments to you guys. Jeff Molina versus Daniel Lacerda. This is an interesting one. Molina should prove to be a very well-rounded fighter. This guy, basically can do anything. He's really a prospect in my eyes. Good jabs, good feints, getting side, slip punches, keeps coming. Good underhooks, tough to take down, good takedown game. Good from the top. He's a complete fighter. Even though he doesn't have that much experience, he's really, fares very well. Fights almost like a veteran. The guy's calm in there and finds the right spot. But he's fighting another prospect here, a little bit bigger man in Daniel Lacerda, who's hungry, who's young himself. And this guy's a ground fighter, Lacerda. It's tough for me to predict this one because there's not much footage available. I expect Lacerda obviously gonna try to close the gap and take it to the ground. He's dangerous, in the beginning at least, even though Molina has a good underhook. He could get tripped, he could get taken down, and Lacerda is dangerous on the ground. The guy passes, he goes for submissions. So it's tough to predict. I'm picking Molina by decision. Feels like it's the safest pick, but Lacerda is probably a live dog here, guys. He's gonna bring it 100% sure. So Molina has to bring his best, get back up, or at least avoid getting taken down and dominate on the feet. I'm not sure because like I told you guys, I haven't seen Lacerda striking, so for me it's difficult to see whether Molina can actually dominate on the feet to win comfortably. I would say that Lacerda has at least some hands. I don't expect that he's totally out of his game there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens, and I think gonna be a very good fight. This one, I'm very excited for this one because two young guys, very talented. Jay Herbert versus Khama. Actually, I didn't put this on the spreadsheet. I think. Yeah, I don't remember putting it here. So I'm not betting this guys. So my pick here is Herbert. I'm gonna accounting for this pick. So yeah, Herbert, super tall, fast, athletic guy, good straight punches, likes to hit and run, lots of jabs, 1-2s, good with the kicks, pretty well rounded, good double legs, also tough to take down, tough to hold down. But he's fighting Worthy, who's a big guy for the division. Hits very hard. This guy is also big and powerful and athletic. Khama. And Khama also does a good job with the underhooks, getting back up and staying on his feet. Where he has his strongest point. Khama already has a style that's difficult to deal with because he holds the center of the octagon. He waits you to come and then he bangs. And he has some technique. He moves the head well. He's not that easy to hit, and he cracks. This guy is super long and athletic, like I told, and he has power. So it's not easy to fight Khama Worthy, against anybody. The problem that Worthy has is basically the defense. Like I told you guys, he holds the ground and he can hit shots, and he can be KO'd as well. I'm picking Herbert by TKO. I think he's probably gonna fight smarter, using a little bit more angles, has a little bit more chances to hit Worthy because he throws more straight punches. Also, Herbert can take this to the ground. It's risky to get inside and try to take Worthy down. To hit an uppercut and stuff. But if they get tired, definitely see Herbert maybe taking this to the ground. But it's a tricky one, guys, because Worthy is physically is stronger than Herbert, and he hits harder. So, man, I think it's a pass here, unless I could get either of these guys like a TKO over plus 400, or even a decision prop. You never know at the end of the day. But it has to be some good price, otherwise it's a very chaotic, very tough to predict this one as well, right? Jessica Rose Clark versus Joselyne Edwards. So Rose Clark, she's basically well rounded. This girl, she's good with the with the straight shots. She's good getting inside, but she to me she struggles a little bit with the game plans. I really don't know what she's gonna do. Because it looks like she can do a little bit of everything, but she's not the one that imposes her style too much. She won very decisively against Sarah Parr because she was physically stronger, and she was able to basically stuff Alpar and then take her down and hammer her. But I've seen Clark before trying to strike with strikers, grapple with grapplers, type of things, So that's why I say this girl is talented. She's deceptively strong. She's not that big as a bantamweight, but she's so lean and fit. But I don't see much game plan for her. At least she doesn't show often. Joselyne Edwards, a big girl for the division here. Young. She doesn't look that young, but she's 26. That surprised me when I was taking again a look at this fight. So she's basically another well-rounded fighter. Doesn't have much defense. But when she comes forward, she has good power. She can take double legs. She's also not easy to take down, type of thing. So to me, the one moving forward gonna win this fight. It's difficult again to predict. I think Jessie Jazz, she has a little bit more talent. I think she's gonna, somehow find her way in this matchup after Edwards cannot quite dominate on the feet. I think eventually Jessica takes it to the ground and could win, based on activity. But it's a tricky one, guys. I wanted to bet Joselyne Edwards when the lines opened, and I lost the timing there. I didn't make my studies at the time. Now Joselyne Edwards like plus 115. There's a little value there, but to me it's most likely. To me it's a pass. I think this is gonna go the distance, even though I think Edwards has a little bit more chance to finish Jessica than the opposite way. But I will see. Either of these girls by decision, not a bad idea, and fight go the distance as well, not a bad idea in my opinion. Tabatha Ricci versus Maria de Oliveira Neta. This is another difficult to predict because I haven't seen much footage on Maria de Oliveira. She's basically a Muay Thai fighter. She's like quite tall, 5'5", not short for the division, and she's pretty long. Good Muay Thai, good knees, can do a little bit of everything. Can also take girls down and whatnot. But she's fighting a BJJ specialist and a girl that imposes her grappling. Tabatha Ricci, short, stocky, gets inside, throws a flurry and takes it to the ground. I see her doing this against Maria de Oliveira. I don't think, because Ricci, she's also like quite lean and strong, so I think she's a little bit stronger than Oliveira here. I think Oliveira is really like skinny. And I don't think she can stuff those takedowns, and I think if she gets taken down, which is very likely, not gonna be easy to get out of Ricci. That's why I'm a little bit confident on Ricci. I'm only not betting more on her because these are both relatively inexperienced, which could be an advantage, because Ricci has a more solid style. But Maria de Oliveira also had been training under a good camp, and she knows what she has to do. So I'm being a little bit careful, but Ricci is definitely an interesting parlay piece in my opinion. Tuho Choi versus Alex Caceres. Another interesting one. Choi, big guy for the division, moves forward. Likes to get inside and throw combinations, slip the shots, and keep coming. This guy also has a good clinch game. Not easy to take down, not easy to hold down. Quite athletic and powerful. Caceres, quite tall, long guy for the division, very experienced. Likes to stay on the outside, jabbing, throwing like long shots from the outside, scoring points, and basically winning always by decision. Caceres is incredible how this guy is not a finisher, Caceres. I bet him by round 3 TKO against Kevin Krum. He had Kevin Krum hurt. He had one more shot to win by TKO on the round 3. He just walked out of this knockout shot. It was just, really interesting to see that. Caceres is definitely not a finisher. So if you're betting Caceres, or if you like Caceres here, definitely go decision. There is, I don't know, less than 10% chance, even less than that, 5% maximum that Caceres can finish someone, especially someone like Choi. Choi has definitely more chances to win here. He could put Caceres out, even though Caceres is tough to hit and this guy is fairly tough. So I expect this goes the distance. I like Choi by decision. Probably I'm going to take this bet. If you can get Caceres by split decision, I would say this is an interesting one because he can sit on the outside and score more shots, but not win decisively. So a split decision on Caceres would be interesting. Rather than that, I'm going Choi by decision. Probably I'll take that prop. Grant Dawson versus Ricky Glenn. This is a little bit easier to predict. You know what Dawson gonna do. He's trying to improve his stand-up. He's gonna try those jabs and those 1-2s. He's improving nicely. Every fight. He's a hot prospect under Glory MMA. And his forte is his ground game. This guy, when he grabs a hold of people, he muscles guys down. He uses a decent wrestling game and a heavy pressure top game. He's a good grappler, heavy ground and pound. He's fighting Glenn here in the lightweight division, which I think favors Dawson. And Glenn, pretty well-rounded guy, has proven himself against some tough competition. He's under a good camp in Alpha Male. If he didn't change, I don't think he changed. If you know something about this, please let me know. But quite a rounded guy, likes the long shots. He tends to win fights when he's the bigger guy, and at least he did when he was a featherweight. In the lightweight, he put Joaquin Silva out, which surprised many people, including me. I had Glenn there, but by decision, so I lost that bet. But Glenn, to me, he's not the biggest puncher, but again, surprised me there. He could surprise me here, but I don't quite see it, against Dawson, a guy that has a solid chin and a big guy for the division. That's why I'm going Dawson here. I'm betting him. I'm on parlaying him as well. I'm 50-50 between Dawson by decision or like finish. I think his finishes, I could put by decision here, right? Yeah. So Glenn tends to fight smart, doesn't quite get hit, but I don't know. I could see Dawson taking him down and basically putting so much pressure that gonna break Glenn eventually. And if you like Glenn, I would say decision. Because tough to finish Dawson, and he cannot open up too much. Otherwise, he's gonna get taken down and hammered. It's not easy to get Dawson out of you if he gets on top. So Dawson by decision. Between decision inside of the distance is the pick here, and I'm parlaying Dawson. Jung Park versus Gregory Rodrigues. Good one. Park is a pretty experienced guy. He doesn't have actually that many fights, but he fights like a veteran. Good angles, good straight shots, quite fast on the feet, can do a little bit of everything, tough to take down. He can take guys down, good judo, and he's basically a kickboxer in there. He's a good judo base and well-rounded game. And he's fighting Greg Rodrigues, who's a big guy for the division, 6'2", if I'm not mistaken, 6'3". Even though showed 5'10", his last bout was just weird. This guy is really tall. He's at least 6'2", and pretty good, quite good on the feet. He hits hard. He doesn't feint much. He doesn't have much setups, but he's dangerous because he's a big guy and he hits hard, and he finishes his combination with double legs. To me, he's a good ground fighter. I think Rodrigues has to take this to the ground because we saw him getting finished. So he doesn't have the best chin in the world, Greg Rodrigues, which worries me a little bit here. But I do see Greg Rodrigues even winning stand-up battles, even Park being a little bit stronger because a little bit faster. Sorry, Park's faster because I see Greg being able to land a little bit heavier on the feet and then taking it to the ground. That's why to me the best bet here is Greg by decision. Even though Park by decision is not too bad, but Park also has a decent chance to finish this. So Park by TKO from like plus 400, it's not a bad idea as well. And though I think this most likely goes to decision. So sorry that I was fixing this while you guys are watching, just to finalize this one. So I have basically, this will be the props that I might be interested to. I think this goes to the decision, but has to be at the right price. Because like I told you guys, not impossible that they finish each other, especially Park. And the Rodrigues inside the distance, maybe like plus 450 or something. Because the Park is tough to submit, tough to finish, but it's not impossible. Because Rodrigues is applying pressure from top is dangerous, And I didn't fix here as well, So I apologize for this. To me, Greg, it's like a 50-50 fight here, basically. I have like minus 110 and per my calculations, for either this guy, so it makes sense to have a small bet on Rodrigues. And the value is there, but like I'm putting it here to you guys, it's basically a 50-50 fight, so don't expect, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if I lose this bet, basically, so I'm not risking too much on Rodrigues this one. But I may bet Rodrigues a little bit more by decision because I think it's that's how he wins this fight. Alan Patrick versus Mason Jones. Now this is correct. So, we saw Patrick versus Jones in the first fight. Jones was basically dominating. He was able to block the shots, get inside and start hammering Patrick. Patrick didn't show much. Once he started getting touched, he didn't know what to do. He started swinging and missing everything. Tried to shoot, Jones stuffed that, kept coming. So Jones should be able to dominate here, basically. Even though it's not impossible that Patrick wins this here, guys, because this guy is he's a athletic and a heavy hitter. From previous fights, Jones didn't quite move much his head, and didn't worry to take a shot, even though Jones has a good chin. It's against Patrick. It's a risk there, And the Mason Jones like minus 550 or something now that he's minus 650. I don't know. To me, it's too much. I'm not gonna parlay Jones. And Patrick by knockout or by decision at this price I would take, but it makes sense in this regard to bet Patrick at, straight at plus 500 or something. There's value there, and I may bet Patrick there, but I didn't. For now, I'm not taking anybody. But to me, Jones like minus 600, minus 700 is just too crazy. Marvin Vettori versus Paulo Costa in the main event. This is gonna be an interesting one, because Costa to me, he didn't quite show himself against Adesanya. I don't know if the moment was too big for him. I was expecting that he would try to march Adesanya down, get to his face, and swing, those bombs to the body. I picked Costa in that fight, and then the guy shows up and does basically nothing, tries to be technical against the technical kickboxer, just got picked apart, started eating all the shots, and got finished by a head kick, and you see Paulo Costa, his Instagram, the guy is just, it's very funny, the guy just put some weird pictures there, and he kind of removes his hair. I don't know. This guy is a little bit odd and weird. And he's fighting Vettori, who is like a pride guy himself. He always he likes to trash talk. He has this mentality where he's a very pride fighter. So it's two pride guys going at each other. It's quite interesting to see what's gonna happen here. If Costa brings his old self here, like marching guys down and just basically eating everything and throwing back with greater power, he could be the favorite, but I have to reward consistency here. Vettori is way more consistent on the on the on the cage. He moves forward. He has a good boxing. He hits fairly hard, even though Costa hits harder than him. He's a tough guy. It's very difficult to finish Vettori. He also has a better wrestling game and a better grappling game. Costa's basically a brawler. Even though he's so physically strong and hits hard, that it's dangerous. He just keeps coming. Costa's cardio is just insane as well. And he has the better cardio. He's a little bit stronger than Vettori. Even though Vettori could match that up with technique. If he can make Costa move back, he has advantage. And again, I don't know what Costa gonna do here, guys. It's really weird to see what's to predict this one. But let's see if Costa gonna bring his old self here and make things interesting. Maybe he will. But again, to me, the safest pick is Vettori. I'm picking him by decision. Costa, super tough to finish himself. And if fight goes the distance here is not a bad idea. And I would like to get, I think I didn't quite fix here. I think this goes to the decision. I would take this, basically from plus 170, something like this. I would take this go the distance, and over 2.5 at plus money would be really sweet, because I don't think they finish each other, especially early. There's a chance of a finish on the round 4 or 5, but early on I don't see much of a finish here. Alright? So guys, this will do for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and to talk about my Patreon here, for $5 a lock of the night and top 2 parlay. So I make a focused discussion there, what I think are the best bets for this tier. I basically, as of now, obviously I put different options there, so not everything that I put I cash, but the safest picks that I gave until now for I think 5 events, they all cashed, so it's a pretty interesting one, being quite consistent there. I'm not keeping track, so you can just take a look at yourself, but just being honest here, that's what you guys get, a focused discussion with $5 tier. For $10, you guys have the early releases, where I put up early releases, So I'm coming up soon with the video for UFC 267, 268. I'm gonna be releasing that. Part of that content is exclusive on Patreon, so hopefully more people are gonna be engaged and like to join here. For $15, line by line on the props that I take, I got good props in the last card, like Roberts by decision. That was one I cashed. I talked about Fiorot and Silva going the distance, so those were good props. Take a look in the video if you haven't. And for $50, the ultimate package, if you want to show all your appreciation to this channel and take everything that I do line by line. Let me show you guys how that looks like. So basically I put all the bets that I'm taking. As soon as I put up parlays with the future cards, and this is easy to follow. It's kind of a ledger. I also keep track of everything is happening. As you guys know, I'm probably the most transparent guy of the game. At least I'm fully transparent. I don't know who else does that, basically, but hopefully more people would like to join and cash out of this. All right, so guys, again, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll talk to you next time. Sam from Zero Other Bet, bring the best, most consistent and transparent betting strategy for you.